Alright guys, congratulations on the gains. First of all, we are now in a situation where we have US 500 printing a bar, just opened on the daily, above the Bollinger Band. Now that has occurred before, obviously. Here's an example of it. But starting a whole new bar above it is indeed rare, but it's happened before. Do know that a pullback is near. At this point, I showcased you guys this target here. This is a pullback area we need to go to at some point. I know everybody is very bullish right now, but they haven't been for months when we have, and especially these last few legs have been pretty epic from us, I would have to say. So watch where this target is, watch where the daily 50 is, watch where the daily 21 is. It is now over the trend line. We finally did it. We gapped over the trend line, caught that whole move during IB session, and stayed out of the chop. So tomorrow, very, very important. We sized down tremendously into close, just because the ports are up big. Here's just a reminder of last week's Friday. Gap and crap. Okay. Friday before that, all right, straight sell. Okay, Friday before that was Powell. Okay, so you've had two of these in a row. Is it likely? Maybe. The fuckery trade is more up. Okay, and then Monday, Tuesday, slightly down if the big sell is in tomorrow. Now the pattern for tomorrow is a early low. Usually it's a rally day with a high in the final hour, just like today. If it's weak, you're gonna sell straight out of the gate. So let's mentally cover to prepare to sell everything at open like that. And let's just sell our shit, and if we catch a gap up, and then we gotta watch for if it starts selling or not. If it starts selling, we can short it. If it doesn't start selling, there is no point in having any out of the money shit. You buy some SPX or SPY in the money and you hold it into close if it's a rally with a final hour high. Okay, so I just laid out the two things that are most likely to happen. Follow that. Okay, we're gonna react to it now. This is actually a very bullish setup here. Dow Jones obviously put in an all-time high today and then went nowhere for hours and pierced the Bollinger Band. And I do want to point out here that on the daily, the RSI is starting to be a little cooked here, very much so. And this can stay here. Personally, I believe we do get a pullback. I think it's going to be a combination of FOMC tomorrow, and then I don't know if you saw, but Besant is meeting with the Chinese next week. Okay, plus other shit. So I want to bring you the weekly. Okay, watch this. The weekly RSI is at 69. As you can see here in the middle of the screen, it can definitely go higher and be elevated for a number of times. Like if they want to send it, they can send it straight. Look, we've knocked out phantoms on SPY now, like absolute legends, right? We've knocked them out, we've knocked them out, we've knocked them out, we've knocked them out. Okay? And we really started monitoring them, especially here at the beginning of August. So I showcased this weekend. I said, I just want to remind you that the first trading day of the month has been the low in September, in August, in July, okay? And in June. So, with knowing that, what did we have? We've had all-time high ever since January in September. And we were saying all-time high end of this week. We got it today. Can it go higher tomorrow? Sure. But after that, a pullback. Now, the setup is clear as day here. You get a 0.25 cut on Wednesday, you start selling. Okay? You get a 50, you rip, and then you start pulling back. Okay? And we had a trend change today. Obviously, that was to the upside. That doesn't mean that that keeps going for a long time. I had penciled in September 8th already in January. I got a new date I'm working on. That date. I would not be surprised if the October low for premiums, not for price, but for premiums for end of year, is around this date. And the tactic is obviously to long into the end of the year. So I can see us popping a little bit, coming down, maybe ripping higher if FOMC or down, but then kind of slow bleeding into the end of the month, chop around, fake breakdown, go fill one of these gaps here, possibly, and then start just chugging like this at furious velocity. Okay? But again, this is the daily on SPY. Look at this indicator. You're printing some bars here. You can get something like this, of course. But yeah, we're near the top. That doesn't mean you can play around with premiums. And again, tech, I know QQQ put in an all-time high today. Fantastic. But tech is lagging. Congratulations if you held the 510s that we are in and out of today. You are in the money. A lot of these, like, look, everybody and their grandma knows that Meta is going to the next level. Okay, they're not even touching Nvidia, but it's not selling either. Okay, yeah, not yet. We played Avgo, obviously. Fridges still need to go higher. What have we learned this week? Well, that Baba is the fucking king. We started along in this bad boy here, and we played it every night, and it's just paid, and no one else has been talking about it. That's the funniest part. But anyways, we've finally figured out UPST. UPST gives you the next week's target the week prior with the premiums. That's what UPST does, you know. That's why we trade the same shit mostly, because we learn them. They all have their own personality, right? And I mean, if you get a cut, this is a interest rate sensitive stock, you know what I mean. Very nicely spotted by Timbo today. I think that this on Monday, there's no reason for this sell. Obviously wasn't in it. There's no reason for this sell. And then a slight bounce off the daily Bollinger Band. I am going to be watching these next week, probably Monday. Hood, okay, Coinbase, me and Jimmy rip this move. It's probably gonna grind even higher. And obviously, if we zoom out here a little bit to the hourly, learn your patterns, people. I just freehand them like that, so it gives me an idea what I'm doing, right? Absolute insane move on Tesla today. Elon clearly wants to be the richest person in the world because Larry is back to number 2. Apple secret Christmas weapon. My wife called me today. She's like, "Oh, you're getting the new I went to AT&T. You're getting the new iPhone." I'm like, okay. Yeah, I think a lot of people are actually gonna get that thing, and a lot of shit's going on, obviously, so it's about to get spicy. The MOC was a sell, obviously, but this was right square in the middle. I count it as, you know, we've seen it time and time again. They can sell MOC, still gap up and come down, right? So the buys still outweigh the sales this week, but I am saying be cautious for you know, many reasons. And this didn't exactly rip higher today, like yesterday was an obvious one. This one, if this opens flat and they do a third Friday, then they do a third Friday. Well, guess what? What do we do? If they do a third Friday like that, we're gonna start buying the dip on Monday because we know SPY is going to 670 next week. Huh. Okay. JPM all-time high. Let's check everybody's fave. The NAMO. And obviously, if you're watching these videos, you know what's up. Live, voice, open and close. Post in the chat if I do anything. Yeah, this could rip. So if you start ripping tomorrow, watch out for tech again, okay? One more thing. I posted all the closing GEXs, but let's take a look at tomorrow's GEX real quick. Next week is already pretty crazy. So yeah, we're here somewhere. I mean, I'd say that is max tomorrow, but again, next week is next week. So I'll go dig through all this with a tooth comb for the market analysis. But with all this crazy shit going on, I find it absolutely amazing and take great comfort in our epic group. Important date right there, just like that was. Okay, I will see you guys tomorrow. God bless.